Hi, fellow and new role players. So today, my video is going to be about TRP, Total Roleplay 3, and I will be walking you through the steps on how to work this add-on. Total Roleplay 3 and other profile add-ons are really important for roleplay. It gives people a taste of your writing style and character. So we're going to dive right in. Let's do this. Alrighty, so the first thing that you'll notice when you bring up TRP 3 is this window right here. Also, before I get too far into things, you'll have a button here. You can click and drag it along your minimap, and you can click on it to open and close it. Also, this little arrow, you can change the size of the TRP window. It all depends on what you want to do. Now, there's tabs in the side, very much to explore here. What we're gonna go do first is look at this initial tab. You'll see here you can do in character or out of character status. So if you hit add a character, you'll see those the OOC in brackets before your name for your profile. But I'm usually in character. And then you can change it from experienced role player, rookie role player, and volunteer role player. And then again, it'll give you descriptions for each one. My profile is hiding everything. But first thing I want to do is go to profiles. So you can have multiple profiles in terms of, you can just create a bunch of new ones and select which one you want to do. I'm going to hit sample profile so I can show you guys exactly what we're going to be doing with these profiles. And so you'll be on that profile tab, but then you'll click on the one that you selected. And here we go. So here is my sample profile. Now when I hit edit, you'll see a bunch of different things that you can do. Let's go one by one. So title. What do you want your tune's title to be? You can do Lady, Lord, Mr., Mrs. It's whatever you want to do when it comes to that. Queen, even not really recommended to do that sort of thing unless you're playing a specific character. But again, anyway, that's just more of a role play thing, and I'm not going to get into that. Your first name, your last name, it really depends on what your character is going to be doing, what their race is. Sometimes you can have a last name, sometimes you might not want it. It's all up to you. You can have a title here, you can have a bunch of different titles. Some people will separate their titles by double I's or such like that, slashes. Then we're going to directory information. You'll have your race here. If it's a tune that you're playing, and I'll do a video on this another time, but if you're playing something called Kill on Sight, a Kill on Sight character, you'll want to probably not state the race that you actually are. Some do, but you can put the race in quotation marks as to what you're actually playing. That's what I typically do when I play KOS. And then when you can select your class, so it says pick a color with a gear. So you click on this, you can choose from a variety of colors. You'd select that color. And when you use this, that's the color that will show up, your name will show up as whenever you're typing. So if I'm typing, you see how that the writing is red and I've selected red, that's what people will see. Alright, so your age. I'm not really that good at ages. I usually go with young adult, teen, middle age, that sort of thing, but you can give an exact age if you research as to how old your race can be and all of that sort of thing. Residence is where they live, simple. Birthplace is where they were born. Eye color, and then again, you pick the eye color with the square, and you could, same color wheel, all of that sort of thing. Then you could go through the height, you give the height of your character. I suggest looking up the average heights of each race that you want to play, just so that, you might get things right. I mean, some people, really, it doesn't really matter much to some people, but if some does, you don't really want to have, a 6-foot tall gnome. That would be a little awkward. Giant gnome. Maybe if you have the World Enlarger, or I'm sorry, World Shrinker or something, but yeah, no. Let's not have 6-foot gnomes, please. Alright, so too long, don't read musculature. Now, I'll get into, that term more in the about section. But just put, like, are they fat? Are they skinny? Are they muscular? Are they lithe? That sort of thing. Here's an additional information field. You can pick one from the menu or make your own. You can hit the X button to remove it. If you hit add additional field, you'll see various things that they have as options, but you can also create new, and that'll pop up this little thing. You can also, fun little fact, you can select an icon, and, use the filter, but the filter's not the best. All right, then when you go into personality traits, TRP has a new sort of thing. They're sliders. It's really cool. So you can either create your own. I have custom red here and custom green, and you can pick the color of the bar you want with the, you get the usual color wheel, which is really sweet. I love it. Or you can pick a personality trait that they give you. I pick chaotic and lustful, and you can use the slider and say, "Oh, I'm more chaotic than lustful. I'm really more chaotic than, or sorry, lawful." Completely unrelated terms, apples and oranges, what I was saying. Sorry, chaotic and lawful. Use the slider, and you can play around with it a little bit. Anyway, we're not gonna linger on that for too long. So as you can see, you have the characteristics tab. That's where we are now. You always want to save your profile work, and that's the first bit of the page. Now we're going to the about section. Here's where things get a little bit complicated. Clicky. So all of this, yeah, I'll go through step by step. So you'll initially see this. This is what people will actually see. You'll see the edit button for your profile. Now, let's start off with what we're going to do. Pick a background from the dropdown. So you can pick a variety of backgrounds. And again, my profile is in the way, but you get the picture. And then you can pick a template. They give you 3 types of templates. I usually go with 1 because that's what I prefer, but I believe 2 and 3 have their, like 2, it got rid of all of my information, of course it did. And then 3 has all of this. But if I go back to 1, which is where my actual profile is, now you're gonna see a lot of coding here. We're getting into the nitty-gritty coding stuff. So I'll show you what I do. It's kind of complicated, but now you see the little PC thing right there? That means that I'm trying to center it. So the way you go ahead and pick if you want to center it, make it left or make it right, is you go to this little P button. You could do center, right, or cancel. And if I hit center, you put your text in there, and that's what you'd want to do. And I really want to color my text. Hang on, let me get rid of that bit. Okay. So if I hit save, and that's when you'll actually see what it looks like. This text is centered in white. Notice how I have the paragraph centered first with the end coding after my coding for the white starts. And then I'll walk you through how to do this. So as you can see, I selected a color. That's the code for the color. And then I have the end coding for the color right after. So whenever you do this sort of coding, this is like introduction, I guess. I'm not really the best at coding, but this is what I've learned from TRP. You want to have the color ending. If that's the last thing you're using, you want to end it there. So paragraph, end paragraph. It all covers all of this, but color, end color covers only this bit. So what I've learned with TRP is that if you're trying to do a paragraph modifier, you're going to want to do that first and then have that last and then do a color changer. That's just the easiest way I've done things. Now I have an image here. They give you a variety of images to select from. I wanted my image centered, so I gave it its own paragraph center thing. You're going to want to do your profile in chunks. You're not chunks, sorry. You're not going to want to be like, "Oh, I want this image centered and then my text centered, so I'm not going to make a new bit of coding." No, you might mess it up that way. So just to be on the safe side, put all of this, give everything its individual coding, unless you're just doing chunks and chunks of text, in which case you don't have to give it its individual coding if you're just doing a bunch of paragraphs. But anything special, any images and new stuff, you're going to want to have its own coding if you want it centered and all of that sort of thing. And so here I'll hit enter here. And that's image, the image option. You can scroll through a variety of images to choose from that they give you. Is really cool. Or you can do icons. I usually don't do icons though, just that sort of thing. It's fun. It's a fun little addition to your profile. You can make it look fancy. So if you look at the picture, it has separate coding from the actual text here. Otherwise, it's going to go all wonky if I don't do that, but you already know that. And if you want to text a different color, therefore prioritize color over center. You do color around the actual text and then center around the color coding and the text, as you saw. So here, you could take a look at what I did here in terms of that. So for profiles, just starting off, you don't really need to get too fancy. This is what I do with mine, a little flare. There's a lot of other complicated things you can do, but you don't have to. And then you can do headings. They auto center if you pick that option. You know, just slash H1 and then again, heading 1, heading 2, heading 3. So you have those options. That's what H is. Now, we're going to go into the content of a roleplay profile. So I'll hit save. Let's pretend that it's all formatted the way we like. I know that ugly yellow text, but we're going to just ignore the ugly yellow text and I'll read you it. So, my choice depends on the character, but I will outline the simplest way to do things. So we're going to get into appearance first, and this is the way I do things. It's a basic profile for what I do. You can do something entirely different. Everyone has their own mixture of profiles, but just for starting off, this is my advice, my personal advice. So let's get in. What does your toon actually look like when we're talking about appearance, right? What's their hair length? Do they have any scars? And now we're getting into musculature. So when you're describing musculature, you want to keep in mind their class. Are they a clothy? Are they a caster? They're not going to really be working out as much as, say, a warrior or a death knight, who will have more defined musculature. Do they run a lot? They'd be more lithe then. They'd be more lean. Um, so do they get more work on the front? They'd have more muscle probably if they're not a caster. So what kind of clothing do they wear? What about makeup and piercings? You're going to want to describe that sort of thing. If you have any art, you can also bring that up. A lot of people get art for their characters. It's really cool. It's called commissions. I could possibly do a video on that another time, but that's, war paint, temporary features on them. There's 1,001 different questions to ask, and these are just ideas to keep you going, so you could read that if you'd like. But anyway, when you're talking about personality, so what does your toon act like? The most, obvious question for personality, right? What do they do when they're happy, angry, or sad? And are they mellow or excitable, emotionless? How are they in combat? Are they good at their class or do they stink? Do they stumble a lot? Are they clumsy? Are they really well on their feet? What's their favorite things and why? Are they intelligent or stupid? So many questions to be asked. I could give you 1,001. What's their favorite food and why is this important? You don't want to include too much okay, it's okay to do that, but a lot of role players typically might not want to read all of that. It really depends. So relevant information you might want to have on your profile, but if you want to have a lot of extraneous stuff, that could work too. People might just not want to read it. All depends on the person and the role players you're going with. And now we get to history. So that's the backstory for your toon. This is a very important little bit here. And the reason for that is the more you reveal, the more people can metagame. And here's my opinion on that. So if someone's going to metagame on purpose, they're going to break other roleplay rules. And I don't have really a rules video yet. Rules, in general, what to expect from the roleplay community, what not to do. That's a bit touchy. It's very opinionated sort of thing, but I'm going to try to give a general idea. In my first roleplay video, I explained what metagaming was, but just as a refresher, metagaming is when someone OOCly, out of character, takes tidbits of information, and their in-character toon will say it, and there's no way of them knowing it. For example, so if I walk up to you on the street and I suddenly somehow know your name without ever having the ability to do so, you're not in any newspapers, you don't have any profiles, but I somehow know it. It'd be like that in game. It just wouldn't make any sense. You can't do that. And, say my toon lost a lover a long time ago, and your toon knows that without ever having known my toon, and it's not anywhere. It's in my profile. That's metagaming. So people can do that, but in my opinion, if they're going to do that, they're not role playing with. Again, my opinion. You can have a completely different opinion. That's okay. But this is my opinion completely. So, and again, I just negate it by just not playing with them. So for me personally, I write really long, lengthy backstories, and I include a link in my profile. I don't really care if people read it or not, but if they do get a good picture of how I write. So that's something that I like anyway, personally. We're going to the miscellaneous tab. So currently I see, what's your toon doing right now? You're going to want to do a little write-up. So I could be like, oh, Lady Fallen is dancing around or humming under her breath or something, you know, that sort of thing. Additional OOC information, just other added character information. Are you in character in your guild? If you're a guild leader, are you recruiting? What's your roleplay style? Are you a paragraph poster? Are you a beginner? That sort of thing. Are you experienced? And then, are you okay with walk-ups? You know, people will often say, "Oh, walk-ups loved," or "I can walk up to you, just whisper me," that sort of thing. So that's also included in the OOC bits of the profile, which is very nice. So yeah, and now we're gonna get into attributes at a first glance. Alright, so when people select their profile, they'll see at a first glances. This is what these buttons are right here, they're attributes. And I'll show you where they're seeing that in a bit. You see a sample attribute, so you can also pick a little icon for that, you know, it's a lot of fun. And when people click on your profile and see your at a glance, what do you want them to see? There could be either tidbits or tons and tons of paragraphs, and then you got to check this, do the checkbox, activate the slot. You see me unchecking it and checking it, and then hit apply. Don't forget it, or it's not going to apply. And where you see that, by the way, is, let me see, my paladin is away. So I'll explain this window in a second, but when you mouse over all of this sort of at a first glances, that's what they see before they can click on your actual profile. And then again, I'll explain that in a second. So, well, I was gonna show you guys mounts and stuff, but I'm in Karazhan right now. I didn't think this through. Okay, I'll hearth later and show you all of that. You can name mounts and pets, it's really cool. Anyway, um, in character frequency, you can either not show it, you know, full-time OOC, most of the time, mid-time, casual. All really depends. It's all up to you. You can either use all of this or not. And I accidentally hit escape. Let's go back. Accept character injury. You know, you've got with player permission and all of that. I could have just hit cancel. I'm just a dumbo, aren't I, today? Oh well, that's okay. I'll just continue. It's embarrassing. I could have just, you know, not hit escape. Anyway, roleplay battle resolution. So there's tons of different types of battles that you can do in roleplay, and I'll do another video on that probably too, because there's so many. PvP, TRP role battle. I actually don't use that function, so I don't know how to explain it. Sorry. Slash roll. That's what I use. Emote battle. Oh, I don't use it, but there's reasons, and I'll explain that in another video. But oh man, and do not show. The sample profile doesn't have anything showing. Now, you know, at a first glance, they'll have little instruction thingamabobs in their little eye things, and that's pretty much it. So, companions, all of this, so I can show you companions now. These are all the companion profiles that you have. Here's his profile. He's a sample pet profile, right? So, you don't want to ask him a question. So, so to edit this, right, this little window will pop up when you click on him. And what you want to do, let me move it over here. So click on the window, hit open page, and here's the profile for the pet. So you want to pretty much, you can edit it as much as you want. Yeah. And, you know, you can have the name the same or you can have it different. This is, again, a sample pet profile. You can select a icon. Right, let me show you that too, just in case someone's forgotten real fast. You know, here's how you select an icon. Ooh, look, there's a San Lane, Prince Keleseth. I can't say anything today. You probably know me from my San Lane video, and if you don't, go check it out, probably. I don't know. Anyway, that's not important. This is a guide. So, it looks like my my paladin logged off because she was inactive. Wow, this video must be taking a while. That's okay. But I want to show you something. Anyway, later. But for now, look at this window right here. See this that I'm dragging? Right here is you can change your language. Falls can speak Thalassian or Orcish. NPC speeches are really fun too. So if you want to type in, you know, I got questions. Hi there. Send. There we go. Hang on. There we go. So I got questions says hi there. That's a say. And then you can change it to actually emote. You can change it to yell. Or you can change it to whisper. Right. So if I do an emote for him, it'll emote. It'll do that. Anyone with TRP will see that in their window. So very fun, very helpful. And then you can just change your character to be in character or out of character with this button rather than going to your profile and doing it. And then normal and away. And then LVY has her dance right there if I go away. When you click on someone else, though, so I'm going to look at Yasilla, my paladin, another window pops up. So that's your regular TRP window. But here is where you want to go when you're looking at someone else's profile. So you want a flag that now has a mature option. If you don't want to see their profile, you can flag it as mature. You can ignore the player just with that button right there. And then their relationship. And then, okay, sample profile work doesn't know Yasilla Dawn Striker, but let's pretend she did. You could just say unfriendly, neutral, business, friendly, all of that sort of thing. Lots of options. And here's her at a glances right here. All of that. Those are the little buttons that pop up with the attributes. And when I want to learn about her, click on her profile and boom, I can go through her profile and take a look. See, as you can see, I've got dark para, mature, and para poster. Yeah, this is everything. This is a true profile right here. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me show you mount real fast though. Hang on. Let me deathgate. We're on stage because we're in Karazhan. Duh, it's so much fun, right? We're performing for a video. We're still loading though. It's okay. It's okay. We can still have a lot of fun talking to get rid of the white space. I really should have thought this through. Okay, so we're gonna go to mounts. I remember the profile I used. Big Blizzard. There we go. There's my big Blizzard bear. Okay, so same concept. You see my mount right here. I click on myself, right? You click on yourself when you're changing the mount. Says, and you can only change it when you're on that mount, right? So mount, sample mount profile, open page, and here you go. You can title your mount, give them at a first glances, and how did your tune get them out? Short or long idea of it. Are they important to the story? Give them a story. All up to you. And if you want to get rid of this from this particular mount, you hit unlink from profile, and boom, you can create another profile. You can select from a bunch of profiles or create a new one. Easy peasy. So there you have it. And that's pretty much Total Roleplay 3. You can go all out or not. There's an extended version. I haven't touched that myself. I just make long profiles for my characters and have fun with it. You know, it's all about having fun. And so like and subscribe if you did enjoy this channel or video channel. Okay, if you enjoy my channel, you can also like and subscribe. Anyway, I'm hoping to get another PC, an actual PC rather than a laptop soon, so the quality of my videos might go up. And the next few videos I'm thinking of doing is a Let's Discuss, which will essentially be me talking about mythical creatures and various myths, that sort of fun thing. And I'll do other roleplay videos too, like general roleplay rules, not rules, not like, oh, you need to roleplay like this, but things a more explained version of what metagaming is, what power playing is, why it's an issue, why I don't emote battle, you know, my preferences and that sort of thing. And again, everyone's different with the roleplay. I get that. So this is all my opinions and all that sort of thing. So keep that in mind. I will say that every single time. So have a wonderful night, everyone. Yeah, this is my outro time. Yep. Outro. I know how to make an outro. Not really. Anyway, bye.